My name is Sylvester, and are you a business owner with questions about loans? And have you taken out a loan with terms you can't fully understand? Well, you're not alone, because in this forum, you're going to take a look at real questions from business owners just like yourself, break down the best responses, and of course, give my own take so you can have a better understanding on small business loans and master the art of using debt to grow your business. Welcome to Funding and Business, and let's get into this shakla bangla. Yeah, anyway, on today's question, we find these questions mostly on Reddit. You can follow us on Reddit r/Funding and Business. Follow us on Instagram, Funding and Business. If you have any questions, you can DM through the link or the comment below, and let's get it started. So the question today comes from Lab Alternative, our business loans. Getting an SBA 7 loan without a business credit score. So the question goes like, I own a salon that is now 3 years old and I'm needing to expand. I personally have been working in the industry and licensed for 12 years plus. When opening my current location, I was lucky enough to never need to borrow any money or use any credit cards to start my business. Wow, lucky. I had been saving to open my own place for years. Therefore, my business doesn't have a credit score. Quite frankly, I have no idea that businesses had credit scores, which of course is lack of knowledge on my part. I am now having a hard time getting approved for an SBA loan, specifically a 7A loan for my business. I have only been applying online as my local credit union bank doesn't offer them. So they sent me the information for Mofi, Lendio, Celtic Bank, etc. And I keep getting denied. I have no criminal record, never declared bankruptcy, don't have any existing loans beside my home, have a great credit score, and own 100% of my business. My business revenue is 6 figures. I don't understand what I'm doing wrong. I have a co-signer, but the application process never even asked me that. Can you not have a co-signer on a business loan? Am I attempting the impossible? I am only trying to apply for $150,000 for TIs and equipment, which in my mind isn't a crazy amount and is projected to be paid off in the business plan within 5 years. I would appreciate any and all recommendations. I obviously lack education on the matter. Thanks in advance. And I would ask you guys to stick till the end so I can actually explain why she's really getting denied. So I'll give you guys a little history about SBA loans. So SBA loans were started back in 1953 by President Dwight. The main goal was to offer small businesses access to working capital fairly, like level the playing field, because we both know sometimes these banks be doing too much with the interest rates and the fees they be charging. So there's really no SBA structure out here or building where you can walk in and get an SBA loan, or a website where you can click and find the SBA loan, because Small Business Administration is an agency and it uses third parties to actually give out these funds. Maybe you can also again put it in the comment section why you have an idea why she got denied and what she can do better to get approved next time. The first response comes from CWM. It says, what were the listed reasons provided to you when you were turned down? So she responds, applicant does not meet threshold for minimum FICO, which is the Small Business Scoring Service score, commonly known as the SBA E-Tran score, which I translated to being due to my business not having a credit score. Okay, and then he answers back that that's correct. This particular lender requires a minimum FICO SDS as part of their underwriting requirements. So if you don't have one, move to a lender that doesn't require one. Not all business lenders require a business score. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. There's not really an agency out here called SBA that gives out SBA loans. There's not a website. SBA is an agency and uses third parties to issue out these loans and funds to businesses. It can be through banks, through organizations, through private lenders like ourselves. So the response says, is this the only turn down reason you have received from lenders? I noticed you said I keep getting denied. Yes, she answers, it's always the same explanation, but as I said, there's so many organizations, lenders that offer SBA loans, because SBA, the agency or organization itself, uses third parties to issue these funds. Again, he comes back, CW, he seems very informed. Says business loans do not do co-signers. If a business needs a co-signer, it's usually deemed not to be strong enough to stand on its own by financial institutions, which is true. Even like us here, when you're giving out a loan with your credit score, if you have defaults, you're not in good standing, we will need a co-signer. Most banks will need a co-signer. So business lenders, he continues and says, business lenders want the past business cash flow to be able to pay the payments, not to have to rely on a co-signer, referred to as a guarantor on a business loan, but generally required to be owner of the business. And then somebody comes, she asks again, so how do random people who don't have a business qualify for a business loan to start up a new business without currently having the business cash flow? Can they just not go off the credibility of what my business revenue has been or my own personal credit? To answer that, again, she just went through a different lender. Every lender has a different criteria onto how to approve. Here I've seen thousands of applications. Over 80%, based on what she said, actually qualify for a small business loan based on their history, credit score, cash flow and revenue, or even standing. They actually qualify for an SBA loan, but only 5% out of the 80 that qualify go ahead to be approved and funded. So that's why it's very strict, and each lender has their own criteria and ways to qualify people who apply with them. He says again, as he answers, definitely you need to find a lender that will use your projected cash flow numbers that are well supported by your historical business cash flows, and they will also consider your personal credit score and assets. Business lenders look more for net worth in business or personal versus just a credit score. That's their backup source of repayment. Let me read that part. He says that's their backup source of repayment. They're saying SBA 7A will give you some additional credit for this stuff. A good personal credit score is table stakes, frankly. It does not provide the reason to approve a business loan. Exactly, because when we're doing SBA loans, your credit score just shows us your habits. It doesn't really tell us whether or not you're high credit risk. It just shows your habits. You spend less than actually what you make. Like, you're very responsible when it comes to money, but it doesn't tell us whether or not you're a risk. I repeat in my videos, what mostly tell us that you're a risk is the industry that you're in. That's why sometimes a business plan is very vital. You have to make sure your business plan is very good and top notch. Anyway, he continues and says, a business startup loan is the most difficult loan to get. True, in his position and in mine, we don't even do startup loans here. But I mean, that is based on projected numbers versus actual historical business numbers. So if you're showing me your cash flow, you've been in business for 12 years, I can see your cash flows, your revenues. I can have a projected amount on how much you're going to make in the next few months, next few years, and I can know whether I can come in and give you a loan and be able to have room to take payments off without making your business struggle, without making your business be unstable. So the last part was somebody saying, if you're interested, I work for a private lender. I know it's not what you were originally looking for, but here are some basics in case you're interested. We provide and secure working capital. So he's trying to actually sell her a different product, mostly a cash advance, or maybe term loans or lines of credit or invoice factoring, because this is different. They're trying to make a sale from what she was really asking. Funding available to up to 1 million, delivery 1 to 5 business days, no cost to apply, no restrictions on how money is used, no penalty for early payoff. Requirement 6 months, 500. So he's basically trying to sell her a cash advance or alternative lending. So I'll go back to the question, and now's the time to let you guys know why she got denied. And I highlighted again, that's their backup source of repayment. Their backup source of repayment, meaning if you default, how are we getting this money back? So I'll give you an example. If you have 10,000 and you have siblings, and you know your parents are popping kids every other year, and these kids need to grow up and find this 10,000 available for them, would you have one of your brothers, sisters come to you say, hey, I have a business. I'm about to buy a big truck. I've been running it for X amount of years, and I'll be doing 10,000 miles a year. The first thing you think is like, okay, I'll give you 10,000, you're able to buy a truck, but what happens at the end of the year if you fall sick? If there's a natural disaster, snow on the road, you can't operate. Or like, yes, you still can operate, but what happens? If I'm coming for you, I'm coming for your truck. Your truck actually depreciated in value. How am I getting this money back? So that means your siblings will no longer be able to get more money, because now I gave it to you, you put it on equipment that lost value. So if you read the question again, she says right here, most lenders, I'm not saying all, but a huge majority, 80%, will not approve your SBA application if you're trying to buy two things. That's equipment or property. Because why? Property fluctuates in value. Equipment depreciates in value. That's hands down. So you can have everything right. You can have max, like over 10 years in business. You can have good revenue. You can have the best credit score. But if you're using these funds in a way when I'm coming back to take my money in case you default, whatever you have is not worth what I gave you. I cannot recoup my money. 9 out of 10 times you get declined. And that's why she got declined. And there's other ways to go about this. The best way is to offer value to your lender. When you're applying for an SBA loan, make sure you're giving him value. Make sure he sees that, okay, if something goes wrong, like they get sick or she gets sick or he gets sick, or there's a natural disaster, if I'm coming, I'm able to recoup my money. And most of the times, successful business owners that get approved for a SBA loan will do things like marketing or expansion, in that if you're selling for 50 people and you already have backed up demand for another 50, but you don't have the inventory, and you say, I need an SBA loan, hell yes, we're giving you an SBA loan. Why? Because now we know you have 100 more customers that you're working with. If you fall sick, it's not because your business is not running, you fell sick. If there's a natural disaster, the customers are always still there. So when you're applying for a SBA loan, make sure that one of the prospects in your business plan is to create value. Create value. So if any of you guys out there have any extra suggestions or you have any extra questions, feel free to drop it in the comment section or in the link below. Follow us on Funding and Business, at YouTube Funding and Business, at Reddit/r/Funding and Business, at Instagram, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you.